Hello, my friends. Dr. Mark Romano here. I just want to let you know how excited that I am to be on this amazing program with my other colleagues. So this particular lecture, we will be discussing perhaps one of the most vital components to the success of a chiropractor. I know so many times we're led to believe that it's a specific technique or analysis that's going to lead us to massive success. And the reality is we must master those particular skill sets as a chiropractor. There is no way around that. The topic we're going to be discussing is the ability to communicate value for what we do as chiropractors. And that communication, the mindset, the attitude in which we bring chiropractic to the world is going to determine the level of success that we experience and enjoy. So where does it all start? Where do we begin our journey? And please keep in mind that if you're in school, if you're thinking about going to school, if you're new in practice, or if you have been in practice for 15 or 20 years, these skill sets of communication and mindset are always going to behoove us to start and reconsider if we're perhaps in a rut in practice or in life or in school where we are uncertain, unhappy, or just lacking the passion that's really necessary to have a fulfilling life. So we can start this at any moment in time. So we're going to look at the first picture, the first step, if you will. I believe life is progress. Success is progress. Therefore, it's not one big, massive thing that happens. It's simply taking small, tiny, consistent steps daily in the direction of our purpose. So that is our first step. What is your purpose as a chiropractor? Now, keep in mind, you could also say, what is your purpose as a human being? And a question that can be asked is, can you have more than one purpose? Well, the answer is yes, absolutely, and you will. So we're going to have a scope tonight, of course, of chiropractic. So we're going to look, how do you define your purpose as a chiropractor? How do you define chiropractic in your office? So many chiropractors miss this vital step because ultimately, how you define chiropractic in your office determines your scope of practice. And as many of you know, we have different paradigms in chiropractic. Those who know me know I practice in what's called the third paradigm. So ultimately, if we look at chiropractic in two categories, we have the therapeutic chiropractor and the non-therapeutic chiropractor. Both help people. The question that we must answer for ourselves is, how do I wish to practice? So in my office, I choose to practice in a non-therapeutic manner. So first step, defining chiropractic in my office. In my office, chiropractic is the analysis and the facilitation of the correction of vertebral subluxations because they, in and of themselves, interfere with the expression of innate intelligence. Chiropractic is all education toward this objective, and chiropractic is nothing else. Now, this is the definition that I utilize in my office. It's also the definition that we have in our international organization, the Chiropractic Trust, that represents non-therapeutic straight chiropractic. I chair the organization, one of the founders of the organization, simply so we have representation around the world for those chiropractors that choose to practice in the non-therapeutic model. So defining our purpose, defining chiropractic, and having clarity of that purpose, because now we have a mission, and our mission is going to be, well, what are we going to do with that purpose? Our mission is to have every man, woman, and child, 7.8 billion people, seeing their chiropractor weekly for life, getting their spines checked weekly for vertebral subluxations. It's a powerful mission. And your mission, should be as big as you can possibly get it. So we look at that as quite a big mission. And now once we have the clarity, we are now going to focus on the vision of our purpose. So your vision is going to have of course, the big vision, 7.8 billion people seeing their chiropractor every week in our communities. So how many people do you want to see a week? How many people will your technique allow you to see per week? Now we're going to work out the details. How many hours a day do you want to work in the office? How many people do you want to see? Now, in my office, because I practice chiropractic exclusively, I can analyze a spine comfortably with an existing practice member, a person that's been coming in to see me weekly for months or years. 50, 60 seconds, I can analyze a spine. And of course, these are people who are established, who've been coming in for a very long time. You know people's spines, you know better than you know their name. So when vertebral subluxations are present, we use advanced muscle palpation as our analysis of vertebral subluxation. Is very obvious when it's present, when people have been coming in on a regular basis. Not so much when people first start coming in. Of course, we have to develop rapport, and the process takes time. So having this clear purpose and having this very clear objective allows us to serve a lot of people. Now in our office, idealistically, yes, we could see 60 people an hour. You're moving, you're running. I don't know if I've ever seen that many in an hour. We might have been close at certain points in my career. Now we average somewhere between 60 and 100 people a day. We love what we do. We love our purpose. And we go 7 days a week because we just love being here. I have a wonderful associate that works with me, Dr. Blythe Peoples, and we just have a great time. He and I split our time between 3 offices, reaching the community. So if your analysis takes 10 minutes, which is fine, then the maximum people that you're going to see per hour, it's going to be 6. And that's fine. So, if you want to work 5 hours a day, the most you'll ever see is 30, but it'll probably be a little bit less because every office has something called peak hours, and usually at 2 hours at a time, and it's usually two times a day, one in the morning perhaps and one in the afternoon, or maybe 2 in the afternoon, that you have 2 peak times in the afternoon. And during those peak times, so you're looking at 4 hours tops, your capacity is determined by how long it takes you to see your practice member and how many people you can see in that particular 2-hour time frame. So you're looking at 12 people, so you're probably going to end up with somewhere around 24, 25 visits per day. And if that's where your capacity is, that's fine. Yes, you could work more hours, but more hours does not necessarily correlate with more people. And once again, the choice comes down to us. Now, are there ways that we can expand that number? Maybe it's having more chiropractic tables, maybe it's having more chiropractors, a more efficient structure. There's a lot of things that we can do, and it all starts with the purpose. Your purpose is going to be your passion, okay? That's going to be the gas in your engine. Without passion, things really are going to be hard to get done because we are all going to go through adversity. We are all going to have mornings we don't want to get out of bed. Our body's going to be hurting. There's going to be adversities that we're going through. At some point, we're all going to want to quit. And it's the purpose that ignites us, that drives us. So that purpose doesn't need to be motivated. That purpose, just thinking of it, creates massive passion, which is gas, which is energy that's driving us toward our purpose. So it starts with our purpose. And now, once we have that purpose, that clarity, we want to create even more clarity. How does chiropractic really help people? Think about that question. How does chiropractic really help people? What is the actual benefit of chiropractic. Now, this is going to be answered radically differently if you're a therapeutic chiropractor compared to a non-therapeutic chiropractor. So we can look at this from, and I'm coming from the side of non-therapeutic straight chiropractic. Big picture, if we develop clarity with our purpose, vertebral subluxations, if we define a vertebral subluxation, it's a condition of a vertebra which has lost its proper juxtaposition with the one above, the one below, or both to an extent less than a luxation, which impinges nerves and interferes with the transmission of mental impulse. Classic Stevenson definition. So vertebral subluxations are always bad. They are ultimately a limitation of matter, and they occur when the external invasionary force overcomes the internal resistive force to a point that the innate intelligence cannot adapt the matter to that particular condition. So a vertebral subluxation can be caused. It is ultimately a limitation of matter. It is always bad. Your body never wants them there. So chiropractic, as I see it, is a big picture service. And what does that mean? Big picture. That means that the brain and spinal cord controls the whole body, that the innate intelligence utilizes the brain and spinal cord for the transmission of mental impulse. Vertebral subluxations occur in every human being, potentially from the moment that we are born and throughout our lives. And when vertebral subluxations occur, it changes the structure of the delicate nerve tissue around the spinal cord and nerve roots. When we change the structure, we change the function. Innate intelligence can no longer use that organ in the way that it was intended. So therefore, we have a decrease in the expression of mental impulse, which is always bad. It always causes damage and dysfunction throughout the body. What we cannot do is specifically say where, because obviously this organ controls the whole body, or the innate intelligence, mental impulse flowing through this organ. So we cannot specifically say what area, symptom, or condition is damaged, nor can we say what physiological function will improve. But what we can say on a big picture, that correcting vertebral subluxations on a regular basis, idealistically every day, the body will be stronger and the quality of life will improve. We simply cannot predict how. Big picture service, we do not have to predict how. What we need to do is be clear in how we articulate the value of our service. So if that makes sense to you, the question first and foremost is, are you sold on that? Is that what you have bought into? Do you live that yourself? Because so many times I see chiropractors not living what they recommend their practice members. Folks, if you're not sold on your purpose, if you're not sold on your purpose with clarity of that purpose, vision for that purpose, and living it every day, there is no way you can bring this to the world. There is no way you can reach your fullest potential if you first are not sold. So the first person you have to sell on chiropractic is yourself. How often are you seeing your chiropractor? Even when it's not convenient. Do you make special times during the week to go and see your chiropractor? Are you having your spine checked on a regular basis? Are you having your spine checked in the same way that you recommend for your practice members? Now, if the answer is yes, excellent. You are ready and already on your way to massive levels of success. If the answer is no, well, now you know what you need to work on. Knowing your purpose, having the clarity of that purpose, and the vision to execute that purpose, changing the lives of the people in your community, and living that purpose. You have to be living that purpose. You have to be under the same standard that you're recommending for everybody else. And success comes down to this in life. Raise your standards. The higher your standards, and they should continuously be getting higher, the better quality of life you will continue to have. So now we have this amazing purpose, this purpose that's bigger than ourselves, and we are now living it. So how do we live it? Every day, we execute. The most powerful thing we can take is action. Action. We have two parts of success, thinking and action. Both are very important. If we had to say which was more important, I will always pick action. So we want to behave right now like we are successful. Because success, wealth, it's all right here. It's a state of mind. Simple. Poverty is a state of mind. Abundance is a state of mind. Scarcity, guessed it, state of mind. And how do we work that state of mind? Well, when we have our purpose, every man, woman, and child needs chiropractic if they're ever going to reach their fullest potential. Excellent. So what is success? I've come up with some definitions. Feel free to use them. Feel free to tweak them. To me, success has a few different components. One, success is knowing your purpose. Success is developing a skill set. Success is taking steps to reach your purpose. Success is sowing seeds that benefit others. And the highest part of success is happiness. Happiness. The pinnacle of success. If you're not happy, what is the point? So when our purpose is bigger than ourselves, it's going to change us. Remember, when we set goals, now our mission statement, it's so big, it's so huge, it's so all-encompassing, that's really not going to change. You may tweak it out once in a while, but it's really not going to change. What is going to change is our goals. And we should have two types of goals. We should have the smaller goals, real easy. We can knock them out by the month, by the day, by the week, by the hour, all across the board. And then we have those massive goals. One of our massive goals is 7.8 billion people seeing their chiropractor every single week. Massive, massive. You know, in our office, could show you a sign over there. Our mission, to give the highest quality service to every person in our community and to make people feel special. Oh, love it. And it's just so much fun. So much fun. And everybody in your office needs to know a nice, simple mission statement. Use that one. Use it. In our office, our intent, our mission is to give every human being in our community the highest quality chiropractic service possible and to make people feel special. I want everyone to come in here to know that they are special and how much we appreciate them. So now, and you can set goals, patient volume, practice member volume, financial goals as well is a lot of fun, and it should be fun. Everything should be fun, because if it's not fun, what's the point? So our purpose is not only going to give us passion, it's going to give us courage. Do you truly believe that vertebral subluxations are detrimental to the expression of innate intelligence? Do you truly believe that chiropractic is an amazingly empowering profession that allows every human being to live better through the correction of vertebral subluxations? Do you truly believe that no human being on this planet will ever reach their fullest potential if they are not seeing a chiropractor weekly? Now, I happen to believe in these things with a massive level of certainty. So it gives me tremendous courage when I'm out in my community. So if we're going to bring this and communicate the value that chiropractic deserves, that you deserve as a fabulous chiropractor, your office staff, there are certain ways that we must carry ourselves. Remember, when we communicate, 3 major ways that we communicate. 1, through the words that we use. 2, through the tonality in which we say those words. And 3, through the body language that we have. So when we're looking at the words, believe it or not, 7% of our communication. Tonality, 38%. Body language, 55%. of our communication. That means that 93% of our communication is non-verbal. Think about it, non-verbal. It's how you look, it's how you sound. You see, it's how people perceive you. So working on our presentation from the moment we go out in our community is imperative, because the second that we're in contact with any human being, we are either building value or digging a hole that we would have to work to get out of. You see, you hear a lot about branding. Let me tell you what your brand is. Your brand is what people think of or how people feel when they hear your name or your profession or anything to do with an experience that they've had with you. That is your brand. So we want our brand to be a brand of excellence. We want people to feel comfortable, safe, trusting, happy, excited, looking forward to seeing us, anticipation every time they hear your name or hear the word chiropractic that has to do with you. So, and this is for me, every day I'm going to wear a suit. Every day I'm going to talk to people in a way that makes them feel special. Every day I'm going to have my cards or brochures with me so I can hand them out to people. And every day I'm going to do the best that I can to reach as many people as possible, schedule consultations, and work in the office to see wonderful folks and provide a great experience for everybody. Remember, with present time consciousness, that quality is not limited to time. How long should it take for an adjustment to happen? As long as it needs to take. When you're 100% focused on that moment, on that person, on that communication, wonderful magic happens that's life-changing. You could be with somebody 30 seconds and change their life forever. Things like this happen all the time. So in order to convey the value necessary, with every encounter, we have 3 to 5 seconds to establish that we are sharp as a tack, super enthusiastic, and an absolute authority in our field. And, you know, we're going to do that if we're in person through how we dress, how we move, how we look in the eye, how we stand, how our head placement is, our tonality, our clothes, and the words that we utilize. If we're on the phone, it's going to be words and tonality. However, people are developing an image of us in their minds. So it's definitely benefits us to stand up, walk around, create some energy, motion, emotion in a positive way. The first 3 things that must happen in the first 3 to 5 seconds: you're super enthusiastic, you're sharp as a tack, and you, my friends, are the authority in your field. Pretty simple. And with the passion that we have, we want to take that, we want to make it bottled enthusiasm, because there are times that I can recall in my past, because I'm, you know, like you all, I'm a student of the game. I am constantly looking to better myself, and I'll look at myself 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 2 years ago, last year, and I'm like, oh man, I'm so glad I improved from that, because golly, and I improved from last month. Constant, never-ending improvement. This message that we have is so important. We should never be ashamed. I see so many chiropractors, they want to say, you know, I'm not selling chiropractic, or, you know, I want to guide people. And you know, in other words, I don't know if they're not passionate. I don't know if they're ashamed. I don't know if they don't want to be looked at as a certain way or a certain salesperson. Well, you know, I kind of favor the side of BJ Palmer here, that I would sell chiropractic, serve chiropractic, and save chiropractic if it will take me 20 lifetimes to do it. I will practice chiropractic within the law, above the law, below the law, without the law. Because BJ was sold on chiropractic. So for me, I look at communicating value, selling, closing, something that needs to be very ethical, honest, transparent, and honest from day one. What do you truly expect for your practice members to do to get the most out of your service? And how can you convey that? That conveys a massive level of value, because this person's life could be changed in a powerfully positive way through the correction of vertebral subluxations, not one time, not 5 times, but weekly for life. We are the chiropractors you see for a long time. And it's our ability to communicate that service with massive levels of value that people can relate to that's going to determine the impact that we are going to have on our communities and ultimately the world. So for me personally, part of the reasons for my endeavor for the Institute for teaching chiropractors is because my quest is to build massively successful chiropractic offices. I'm not saying you got to practice 7 days a week. You should be, thinking about it 7 days a week. You should be ready to hand out cards no matter where you're at on the planet, because once again, that's the passion of having that powerful purpose. You need to have a tribe around you that's really excited for what you do. Not saying they all have to be chiropractors, but what I am saying is you've got to stay on fire, and you should not be ashamed of wanting to help people live better through what we do. Now, does that mean you're going to get made fun of sometimes? People are going to laugh at? Yeah, that's going to happen. Don't even worry about that. People make fun of everybody, and they make fun of really successful people who are doing amazing things. So, they're going to make fun of Tesla. They're going to make fun of, all kinds of other amazing people. Elon Musk. I'm sorry, Tesla. Yeah, Nikolai Tesla. Sure, people make fun of him. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. These people are changing the world as we know it. And yeah, they get made fun of all the time. They don't care because their purpose is so big. Steve Jobs' purpose was to ding the universe. Think about that. And created a very, very loyal culture. And I believe that that's what we need to be looking at as chiropractors. We need to be looking at creating a culture of people living to their fullest potential, valuing every moment in time, taking every moment and not wasting a day because it's Monday or Tuesday or Thursday, saying, look, today's a day and I have the opportunity to live to my fullest. And how are my habits allowing me to do that? Because everything in life, friends, everything comes down to habits. Your habits are making you stronger, making you weaker, bringing you closer to your fullest potential or further away from your fullest potential. And chiropractic is absolutely one of those habits, big picture, that will bring every human being closer to their fullest potential. Now, once we have this clear vision, there are things, that are really going to come into play as we articulate that vision. There is something called the 3 T's. And when we're looking for something in our life that we're going to purchase, and this doesn't matter what it is across the board. There is something called, we call it the 3 T's, abbreviated, but the reality is this: no matter what human being you are, no matter where you're at on the planet, if you're going to commit to anything, you have to be absolutely certain about, say, that person, the product or service, the office or company. And we call it the 3 T's because on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not certain and 10 being very, very certain, we got to get people at a 10. And we got to get people emotionally certain at a 10 about you, your service, and your office. So they're not starting until they're at a 10 on all 3, that they are absolutely certain that you are the best chiropractor for them, your office is the best place for them to receive chiropractic, and your service, your technique, and your analysis is the absolute best service for them to receive chiropractic. if they're not at a 10 on any one of these three things, they're not starting. So what does that mean? If they had a bad experience with the chiropractor down the street, excuse me, or in the next town over, so maybe they're at a 10 on you, a 10 on your office, but a 5 on chiropractic, they are not going to start. It is up to us to be able to communicate to get them to a 10. You know, and there are ways to do this. We have an hour, so I really want to go over the big picture here and how we carry ourselves, the confidence in which we talk. There are too many times I see chiropractors trying to validate themselves. Validation is a big weakness because what it creates is massive levels of insecurity and desperation. When people feel that the professional is desperate and insecure, they're not going to start with you. So we don't need to look for validation as much as we need to be confident and validated within ourselves. You know, Gary Vaynerchuk said, the two biggest things that hold most people back is the need, and this is a human need. Gary Vaynerchuk, if you've ever heard of him, maybe not, very successful entrepreneur and speaker. It says the two things that hold people back, one is the need of validation from others around them, especially those that they love, because we're taught validation from a very young age. And it does take a lot of awareness, self-awareness, to one, recognize it, and second, overcome it. And then the second thing is being honest with ourselves, being honest to be able to have the self-awareness and the criticism to know, okay, I need to work on this, or this is something I'm not very good at, or this is something I'm really good at, or this is a particular business model that's going to work, or not going to work after, you know, so many months or years being in it. So the ability to be honest with ourselves and not need validation. So sometimes we can be misleading to ourselves, and everybody needs to look out for that, because humans, we lie. That's what we do, and we're good at it. It's a lot of times it's a survival mechanism. So being honest with ourselves. For many, I sold chiropractic on the passion that I had. It was not repeatable, and I didn't know what I was doing right because there was no structure. I spent many years to say, okay, I need to learn a structure, a repeatable structure where I can effectively communicate value to the vast majority of people that are coming in. Does that mean that everybody who comes in to see me stays for years? No, it doesn't. It's not always a good fit. Do I accept everybody who comes into my office? No, absolutely not. It has to be a good fit. We both have to be very, very happy. So I have a free consultation, and I have different particular plans, packages that allow us to figure out if we're a good fit or not. I want everybody to see somebody. I do understand that not everyone's going to want to come and see me. So that's why I love helping other chiropractors where it could potentially be a better fit. And we do different qualifying processes, because here's, like we said, here is a big, very important part of success: happiness. If somebody is coming in and now I'm very, very comfortable with how I convey the value for our purpose, and I'm constantly growing in that particular arena. And now growing is a matter of inches or less, where before it was miles, then yards, then feet. Now it's inches. So if somebody's fighting me on that purpose, it's simply not a good fit. Or I'll give them a shot to say, look, we can go, we have, because, you know, typically we sign people up for a year, but we do have a month or 3 months to say, look, let's just see if this is a good fit. We're not trying anything out on you. We simply want to see if we're happy with each other, because happiness is such a powerful part of success. I'm a happy little guy. I'm happy every single day. Nobody's going to come in the way of that happiness. If somebody's coming in and they're simply not happy, and they're not happy after coming in for 3 months, it's not the place for them. Let's help find a place where you are happy. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does, we simply want people to be happy wherever they are at. So we talked about the first encounter, sharp as a tack, enthusiastic as all get out, and an absolute authority in our field. That is the very first time that you meet anybody. And should you always be sharp as a tack? Absolutely. Should you have cards with you whenever you go in your community? Absolutely. Now, the 3 T's. Before people are going to sign up with you, they have to be emotionally certain. On a scale of 1 to 10, they have to be a 10 on you, your service, and your office. If you're working in an office and somebody came back and they had a bad experience 5 years ago and they're at a 5 on the office, they're not starting until you get them a 10. And it's not very hard to do this. So when we're talking about when does a person start? Great question. We have something called the action threshold. That's when a person's ready to start. Now, there is a there is a diagram of a box, picture a box that has 3 walls. And when people start, we call it boxing them in. You've heard many times, do people buy on emotion? Do people buy on logic? People buy on emotion and justify it with logic. Maybe. People buy on both. They buy on both. Everybody is a little bit different. Some people are going to buy more on emotion and justify it later. Other people are going to buy more on logic and then get excited about it as they do it. Doesn't matter because you got it all covered. When we're looking at chiropractic, the way we explain chiropractic, and you should have a way to explain chiropractic, one out in the street. When you first meet somebody, that you can create interest. 30, 40 seconds of creating interest. Don't be out there trying to talk to somebody for 10, 20 minutes. That's very inconsiderate of their time. Create intrigue, create interest. 30 seconds. Hey, I'm Dr. Mark. I'm the chiropractor down the street. We focus on helping people live to their fullest potential and have an amazing quality of life through the habit of chiropractic, and we serve people like family. What we do is we have a free consultation. So, okay, if I give you a card, and if people say something, man, I've been thinking about seeing a chiropractor, great. What's the best number to text you at? And I'll send you a text, and we'll get you set up with a free consultation in our office. So I'm already getting ready to schedule them a free consultation. You guys get where I'm going with this? Because it's just a natural, loving process. 30 seconds, maybe 45 to convey interest. You don't give your consultation orientation out in the streets. You create interest, schedule them to come into the office. Once they're in the office, now we can really have some fun. And we're looking first with, we want, when we're talking about the action threshold, we'll stick with that first. We're going to create a logical case for chiropractic. It's going to be logic. It's going to be an airtight, logical case on why chiropractic is the absolute best thing since sliced bread. And that's really easy to do. That's one wall. Second wall is going to be that emotional certainty. You guys remember we talked about the 3 T's. And then the third wall, we got to smash limiting beliefs. And that can be vast. There can be so many limiting beliefs that we would never even know, but there are so many ways to fire the bazooka, because if you've ever seen our consultation and how we go about it, we talk about looping and all kinds of other wonderful techniques that we use with honesty, integrity, and transparency. Because keep in mind, the folks that we sign up, it's got to be honest or they ain't staying. And if they do stay, they ain't going to be happy. Nobody wants to be lied to or misled in any way. So everything we do is with the honesty and integrity to let them know we have every intention of serving them like family and help them make this a wonderful, convenient habit for life that will be one of the best investments they've ever made in themselves and their family. So limiting beliefs may be a belief they had from their relative going to a chiropractor 30 years ago, or an experience they had with a chiropractor or somebody who says they were a chiropractor, or something their parents told them of never commit to anything. Regardless, it's a limiting belief. It doesn't serve them now, and it may never have served them. I call that category the black swan. Chris Voss has a wonderful book on negotiation, Never Split the Difference. And he talks, because he was an FBI negotiator that he would negotiate for hostages' lives. You don't split the difference. And he talks, there are 3 situations when we deal with humans. There are the things that we know that we know. This is what I know. I know the logical case of chiropractic. So easy, so fun, and so exciting. And I know how to make that relevant to the vast majority of people. And then there are things that we know we don't know, okay? I don't know what maybe experience they've had before. I may not know initially how they're going to react to certain things, but I know that I don't know. The third thing is the black swan, the things that we don't know that we don't know. So we don't know that we don't know them, and those are the black swans that we need to be looking out for, because they're going to give us vital information that can really help us connect with people, those things we never see coming, the things that we don't know and which we don't know. So our consultation is actually divided up into 3 different categories, and everything comes down to quality and practice member safety from day 1. And the only way we're going to do that is through massive levels of honesty. So the first part of our consultation is going to be asking questions. We're asking questions. Why? Because we care. We want to know what brought folks into the office. We're going to ask them questions. What brings you in today? Have you seen a chiropractor before? What was the experience that you had? What did you like? What did you not like? You know, what are you hoping to get out of today? It's just giving us great information. And during the introduction to the consultation, the chiropractor should only be talking 10 to 20% of the time. We should be listening. Want to take notes? Fantastic. But we're gathering information. And then we move to the body of the consultation. This is where we're going to have our logical case. Now, during our logical case, when we're giving logical information, we're also creating emotional certainty about you, your office, your service. And the whole time you're establishing to a higher and higher and higher level, you're sharp as a tack, super enthusiastic, and you're an absolute authority in your field. You're either gaining more momentum or you're losing more, or you're less momentum or negative momentum in the direction that you just really don't want to go in. And this is all going to be in how we communicate, certainty, the confidence. Oh, this is, it's all vital. It all works together and it all takes practice. Are there some folks who are very natural at this? Absolutely. Most of us are not. Even the most natural person at this still needs a system, still needs to know why they're able to succeed at what they do and to do it more often. The third part of our consultation is to close. That's where people sign up for the service. Does that mean you're going to close it the first time? No, absolutely not. Typically, the sale starts when folks say no, because typically they're not saying no, I don't want any, because they're not even going to say no. They're going to say, I got to talk to my spouse. Let me think about it. Let me check the budget. What they're really saying is this: you haven't made it relevant. I don't see how it's going to benefit me. Or they're saying, I have a limiting belief that keeps me from doing all kinds of wonderful things that would make my life better. Now is the time for the consummate professional to step up and communicate that value with empathy, expertise, and precision. And you're only going to get this type of skill set is if you study and you practice. And the great news, we've already done it for you. And all you got to do is get on and study it, because no matter how good somebody may be naturally, this is the area that must be learned. Because what we're going to do when somebody says no is using our tonality and different types of language patterns, go back into the sale to reestablish into the body of the consultation massive certainty of you, your office, and your service. And the fifth thing, because we've talked about the 3 T's, you, your office, your service. lowering the action threshold, which is what people are ready to buy, and it still may not be enough with the logical case, emotional certainty, and smashing limiting belief. There are times that people are going to be, running a dialogue in their mind, and the dialogue in their mind is a movie playing out of why they shouldn't do it, of all these bad things, because that's how they're conditioned. And that movie in their mind is speaking much more loud or louder than what you're trying to say. So we need to raise the pain threshold. By raising the pain threshold, what we're saying, look, if you don't utilize chiropractic, if you don't come in and have your spine checked for vertebral subluxations, what's going to happen? You never reach your fullest potential. You'll never have the quality of life you should. You will be living with vertebral subluxations, and damage will occur because of that. That the quality of your life will never reach the level that it could have. You could live to 100 years old. You simply would never have reached the level of quality that's anywhere near your fullest potential. People live to 100 years old all the time, in spite of their habits, drinking, smoking, all kinds of things. They never reached their fullest potential. They weren't breaking records. They weren't winning races. They were just existing. Now, for some people, I just want to exist. That's it. Oh, okay. It's not going to be a good fit for your office. And if you can change that belief, give it a shot. You have the tools to give it a shot. And if it doesn't work out, you tried. You give them information. You let them know to come back. And then, being the consummate professional, you call them in a day or two. Ask them if they have any questions about chiropractic. The follow-up, hugely powerful. This negative movie that people run in their mind. So easy to counter that with a simple language pattern like, look, the worst thing that happens in a chiropractor's office, the worst thing that's going to happen here is the quality of your life is going to improve. We're helping the body do what it's trying to do, which is correct these vertebral subluxations. We're trying to help the body do that. The chiropractor does not make the adjustment, folks. The innate intelligence of the body does. The best the chiropractor can do is be a part of it. It's the best that we can do. Having an analysis that's telling us this is what the innate intelligence is trying to do. Here is the presence of a vertebral subluxation, and this is what the innate intelligence is trying to do. And the best that we can do is now make a universal force with the intent that that universal force will be transitioned to an innate force. So an adjustment is made. How do we know? How can we be certain that an adjustment's been made? Our post-analysis. Always a pre-analysis, always a post-analysis. So we know a vertebral subluxation has been cleared out. An adjustment has occurred. I wish I could take some questions, because this is a lot of material that we covered in a very brief amount of time. What can we do? What can you do tomorrow? What can you do tonight? One, write down your purpose. Create massive clarity on your purpose as a chiropractor. You could also create your purpose in other areas of your life as well. I highly recommend you do that. Write down your purpose. Write down how you define chiropractic in your office. Write down your mission statement. Write down 1 or 2 goals that you wish to accomplish. How many people do you want to see a day? And you know what? There's people all around you hoping you talk to them. They're not going to come up and say, well, I really hope that you would talk to me, or I've had these limiting beliefs. They're not going to do anything like that. It's going to be up to you to have the courage that's motivated by your purpose, that creates massive passion leading to massive action. And massive action looks like this. Hi, I'm Dr. Mark. I'm the chiropractor down the street. May I leave a card with you? May I leave a brochure with you? And that's massive action. It's going to get more comfortable the more that you do it. Maybe you could set a goal that I'm going to do that 5 times tomorrow. Or I'm going to do that 10 times this week. And then you take the action, and that's your weekly goal or a daily goal, or maybe you say, I want to do 2 in an hour, hourly goal. Start knocking them out, creating positive momentum. Your purpose, friends, it's got to be bigger than you. Chiropractic is one of the most powerful purposes you could ever have in your life. And I want you to have the absolute certainty that you are making people's lives better through the amazing gift that you have, the amazing skill set that you have of analyzing the spine for vertebral subluxations and facilitating the adjustment. There is no other profession in the world that has anywhere near that skill set or intention or philosophy. The philosophy of chiropractic is beautiful and congruent and benefits all of humanity. The worst thing you could do is keep this gift to yourself. Learn to communicate it, learn to communicate the value. Myself, my friends, we can help you, and we want to help you, and we want you to be so successful. We want you to make abundant amount of money so you can continue to bring your gift to the world. You were created to be wealthy. You were created to be abundant. You were created to bring your purpose to the world, your gift to the world, to improve people's lives through this gift. And the resource of money simply allows you to do that on a whole nother level. You will never help anybody being in poverty. You will only help people by being the best version of yourself, living in wealth, being amazing, and encouraging others to be amazing as well. Sharp as a tack, enthusiastic as all get out, and absolute authority in your field. How you dress, how you talk, the tonality that you use, looking people in the eye, creating massive levels of certainty about you, your office, and your service. Also, lowering the action threshold with your airtight logical case, emotional certainty, and smashing limiting beliefs, those black swans, the things that we don't know. And also letting people know, we lower the action threshold by letting people know. The worst that's going to happen here is the quality of your life improves over time. Nothing is a cure-all. Nothing is a cure-all. However, chiropractic will be one of the best investments you ever make in reaching the quality of life you're capable of and having the quality of life you deserve, reaching your fullest potential. If you never see a chiropractor for the rest of your life, even if you live to 100 years old, you will live with vertebral subluxations. There will be damage. You will never reach the fullest potential that you have in life, and you will never have the quality of life that you are capable of. Think about these things. I really hope you can implement something right now, this evening, tomorrow, that's going to improve your communication, improve your success, and improve the impact that you have on the world. Friends, we all have an amazing gift. Let us share it with the world. Let us convey the value that chiropractic deserves and that our communities deserve. And together, let's reach 7.8 billion people and create a massive shift of positivity in this beautiful world. Thank you, my friends. Live with power, live with passion, live with purpose. And I, Mark J. Romano, continue to be at your service. Enjoy the rest of the program, and I look forward to seeing you soon.